So I was looking through some old pictures and I came across these that I thought you guys may be interested in since it seems pretty popular, Jazzy Jeff Studios. These pictures are from his Delaware house when he had moved out of Pier 5, and this was his first house he had in Delaware. And it was a big development house. It wasn't as gigantic as the house that he has now, but it was very nice. And what he did is he had the basement made into a recording studio for himself. So you would go down the stairs, a big pool table, and all his, gold and platinum records and that. So his first picture is pretty interesting. This is Roger Quested talking to Jeff. You can see on the right side in the corner that's Jeff's hands and his legs there. I think the funniest part of this picture is Jeff's cat, and I think this cat's name was Midnight, is laying on the console right there. But the console is a Neve console. It's a broadcast series. This was he bought this from Michael Block, and Michael Block was famous for getting old Neve consoles out of radio stations or wherever the broadcast consoles were being used and selling them to studios and just having them modified to have direct outputs. So that's what the console is, and that's on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you can see this little curved area, and that's Jeff's other workstation. There'll be a better picture later of where he was composing. He'd have his keyboard and that right there. And then you can see behind Roger Quested some of the outboard gear. And then he had all these knickknacks on top of the console, which seems like a thing that a lot of people do. I don't get it. It seems distracting, but people like doing that. And then behind Roger, you can see the window, and that looks into Jeff's live room. Roger was, I took him down. This was around fall of 2008, and Roger was in the United States because we were going to the AES show. And we took a ride down to see Jeff, and the one thing that Roger wanted to discuss with Jeff was what do DJs look for in a monitor for live use, and they went through all these details, and Jeff was telling him that they wanted a loud, powerful monitor so they could hear what's going on, and Roger was working on a line just specifically for that. And I think he was working on, I don't know if it had a ribbon tweeter in it, had some kind of a tweeter that would take more sound pressure than a regular tweeter, so he could have a farther way to shoot at the DJ. But he also incorporated this design into home theaters and regular post work, because you needed a lot of speakers, but you needed them kind of far away, but also powerful enough to shoot the audio to you. So that's what this first picture is. The second picture is that's another picture of the console with his cat sitting on top of it, and you can see in the background the MTR 90 that I sold to Jeff a long time ago, and his, what is it, an O2R? I think it's sitting on the side of his console. I think he was just using it to, run all the keyboards through. Let's see, next picture. There's a better shot of the console and the speakers. So he had a pair of Tannoy double 15s, but they just couldn't keep up with Jeff because he was hitting them really hard. When he moved to his other studio, to his other house, we put a pair of Quested 410s in. And in fact, he just got in touch with me because all the woofers need to be replaced. So it's pretty pricey. So we're getting a price for him for all 8 10-inch woofers to be replaced there. And those things, they could take a pounding. These Tannoys, you gotta be a little careful with them. But you can see the console. He has a pair of Dynaudios on the top of the console and his DJ equipment. The MTR 90 on the right-hand side. See the Bryston amplifier down at the bottom on the right side. So, that's what's going on in this picture. The next picture, that's from behind his workstation. So you can see the console all the way to the right. And then when Jeff would turn around, he'd have his keyboard and the computer and his mouse there. And to the right side, that Pultec in the wall, that was his lighting system. He took it from his last studio where he was at Touch of Jazz. He just took it out of there and brought it with him. You can see a couple turntables. So, and this picture, where you can see the yellow around it, that's a window looking into the live room for recording. So he had a lot of live instruments there, you know, bass guitars and drum kits and all that. So when people would come over, musicians, he'd have it all mic'd up and ready to go, and he would just hit record. I've seen him have drummers come over, and he would just say, just play a groove, play whatever you want, and he would just have the recording going on. And then after that, he would cut it all up into what he liked to use. And he would use live musicians for some of the stuff. But if you were a hot drummer, come on over and play. And then Jeff would use the loops later. This is all the outboard gear. Well, this is some of it. He has a lot more, but I pretty much sold him every piece, in there of all that gear. You can see an old Ensoniq DP4 Plus in there, the Avalons, the 737s. But like I said before, he doesn't use a lot of the outboard gear like he used to, and a lot of the outboard synths. So the next picture, there's that Pultec. That's pretty much, it's just the lighting system. It's a thing that he took from studio to studio. Then he took it from this studio and took it to the other studio in Delaware. There's the workstation. So you can see the keyboard and the outboard MIDI gear and his MPC there and the samplers. Let's see. Next picture. That's a picture of the inside of the live room. Drum kit and Rhodes keyboard and all the cool gear just to make noises with. And the last picture, this I just took. It was part of the studio, people writing on the wall. So I don't know if you know any of these people, but there was a lot of that stuff going on. They would write on things. So what happened to this studio? It got flooded at one point, and I have all the pictures for that. Maybe I'll post those in another video. But he called me up. He said, George, you got to come down here. The whole basement flooded, and I had to make up a report for the insurance company so things could get replaced. But it was pretty bad. Everything got wet, but he was covered and everything was good. So this is a studio that he had, the first studio in Delaware, and regular development. Nice house. And he had a great relationship with his neighbors and all that. I went down there to hang out with him one day. Really nice. So there you go.